And we have returned with the final map of the evening. It's going to be on Overpass between Immortals and G2 here. Still, it's still barely mapped to a DreamHack Masters. We're almost getting to day 3 here. Getting close, Moses.
It's been good stuff, hasn't it?
Yeah.
That was a fun match. I just had to reconnect because I was actually joining our team when I came back. That would have been bad news.
Would it? Could have been a nice switch up.
Nice little surprise.
Don't think anyone has ever tried to cast and play at the same time. At least not in an official stream.
I have enough trouble playing as it is. I don't think we need to add casting onto the top of things. Either way, third map, yes. Obviously, the winner of this is going to make it into the DreamHack Masters playoffs. We'll be seeing them in the arena in Malmö. It's either going to be Immortals or G2, obviously, if you're just tuning in now. Those are the two teams that we have going head-to-head. And it was quite a battle on Inferno if you missed that map. You really did miss out on some exciting Counter-Strike. So expecting much of the same here on Overpass. We're going to see a lot of force buys, a lot of fights being taken, a lot of aggression from both of these teams. Yeah, the sort of the Counter-Strike connoisseurs among us are losing their minds over the fact that we're seeing so many force buys. It is like it kind of does like it sucks a little bit to have to like harp on it so much because the economy game, it's not like the sexiest conversation to talk about with Counter-Strike, but it just plays such a big role when you get two teams especially that just love force buying. They love ops and they love force buying.
Yeah, two things that don't go well together. KNG getting tacked up a bit, but falls back right away. So a lot of utility expended here for G2. Might not have been worth it, although they catch bolts. And Kenny with a headshot, taking out KNG. Immortal stopping for a minute. Kenny, can he bring it back? He's got one headshot. Oh my god, a second as well. Taking down MBK and dropping the bomb. They finally take care of Henny, but again, the action is unrelenting here. The beginning of Overpass, and now Lucas and Steel, they don't know where to go. There's still a minute and 15 seconds.
Yeah, and Henny gives us a chance to pause and catch our breath. Slows that down. It drops the bomb as well. But this is going to be so tough. Like you said, over a minute left. And here's G2 doing what we've seen in them in early maps, is just saying pause. Just saying be patient. Sometimes we haven't always seen this, but Steel's found a gap in the defense. He had a phenomenal Inferno with 33 kills, and he evened things up in a 2-on-2. I think Kenny is going to be a little bit frustrated with that one. Positions that don't quite cover each other. What a return from Steel. Spins and another headshot.
How does he survive that? Shox is now alone with 40 seconds. USP in hand, which is great news. But how do you get the bomb plant down in this position? You have to, clearing this A bomb site alone against Steel. Think about how many positions he could be in to get the peek on you. Steel smartly has massively rotated up his position. He's no longer at restrooms. He's all the way back at the bank, and Shox coming to look for him. 18 seconds, and now he knows, but he can't play this game, Shox. He has to find him, kill him right now. Otherwise, there's not going to be time. There's the one shot, and now with 10 seconds, he can just barely make it onto the site. 4 seconds, and he's gonna get the plant down. Lucas comes charging in. Oh my gosh, Shoxy, you've got to be kidding! Taking the kill, mid-air shot.
That is the most Shox round to win. That is unbelievable. Even getting off the bomb, though, what a dangerous game he plays.
I cannot believe it. Imagine having to keep your cool. As you get the kill on Steel, the clock reads 10 seconds. So if anything goes wrong, and well, the action, would you know it?
Don't even get a chance to chat about it, do we?
No, we just have to accept that that happened and move into a headshot on Apex.
Oh, I don't know if I can get over that one. What a beautiful, beautiful 1-on-2 from Shox. Either way, 5-on-4 advantage for the Immortal side. They have that scout on Henny, and this is one of those maps where you don't mind seeing the scout come out.
No, it can do a lot. Steel wedged up into the corner there. Seems a bit silly, but you'd be surprised how often people forget to check that as they're rushing in through the monster tunnel, so I'm kind of in favor of it. G2 are sort of following a time-honored tradition of going long when you're up against pistols, which is always a good idea.
Well, they got content with the scout, and Henny, obviously, with the jumping, he can spot this out from very, very far away. The only utility that G2's got is smokes, so they don't have any flashbangs to kind of distract anyone. They just have to put, I mean, obviously there's going to be one at the end of this long so they can get close up. Can't really flash through it, though, and time's going to become a factor. We've seen G2 running down the clock pretty slow at times. 40 seconds left, and Bolts is pushed up in the underpass, so he's hearing some footsteps. He's got some information this is going to be a flank. G2's not even aware, and there's a kill. An easy one. Body goes down. They're whittling the forces away. It's a 5-on-3, even NBK damaged.
Immortals making this work. Lucas getting a kill on Kenny. 20 seconds. Shox gets one on KNG, but they're so low on health. Seems there's no way out at all. Shox trying to get the spray. He doesn't really want to show himself, and he goes down to Bolts. NBK on the bomb site, on the truck, but he's going to be down and out. Steel will take the round. Immortals, they bring it back once again. This is such a crazy game.
It really is. A great shot by Lucas opening it up, and I mean, you forget about the insanity of that pistol round real quick if you're G2. Yes, you're at a high moment, but they just slow things right down, and it's very cool to watch it sometimes, but sometimes it just seems like they're almost being, I mean, it's such a hard line to ride, and maybe it's not fair to criticize, but it just, this is a lot of rounds that we've seen come down to hitting bomb sites with 15, 20 seconds left for G2, and just too much is going wrong.
Listen, this is the beauty of casting the game and not playing it, is that you can always have the 20/20 hindsight and say, they should have played a bit differently.
I do feel a little bit bad about it as a former player.
You do? All right. Well, I don't have those hang-ups.
Yeah, you don't have those that conscience, do you?
No, I'm fine with it. Apex does get the kill on Henny, and Bolt's very low on health. Is it going to swing the other way? It certainly seems like it. Shox going to be taking him down, and now Apex close with a Galil, sprays on one, and actually Shox stealing one of those kills as well, and now it goes the other way. G2 picking up the round. Immortals getting overrun completely.
You could just see it in each of these two teams. Whenever they find some kind of advantage, it's just pick up the pace, get into the bomb site. There's no finesse, no subtlety to any of these tactics. It's full force going forward. G2, I think it was just that one smoke, that player, I forget who it was on the Immortals side, playing close to bathrooms. G2 player sneaks past the smoke just before it plumes, and Immortals wasn't ready for it, and then it just clicks in. Pretty decent buy, all things considered, from Immortals. 1 M4 on Bolts, 3 UMPs, and a Deagle. What they are missing, obviously, is nades. 2 flashbangs to work with.
That could definitely be a problem. I feel like on this map, it's less of a problem early on. But if you're going to go for the retake, you're going to need the grenades.
Oh, that's a nice shot. Henny was trying to get aggressive, fell back, tries to use that one flashbang to get away. Easy picking for Kenny. And interesting, he's very far up at party, and there's no one else really near him. Bolts had the M4. And now G2 again. This is one of those rounds they slow it down.
Yeah.
You've got to hope. I mean, they're slowing it. They're so slow paced, but they're not really gaining any map control, any kind of progress towards bathrooms, right? So they don't really have any indication of what kind of setup they're going against. This is just kind of a blind rotate back towards the B bomb site. There's 3 players here for Immortals.
Maybe a return to sanity for a moment here in this ridiculous best of 3. Steel again wedged into the corner now. People sometimes check this, but sometimes they forget, and they're going to put 3 people through. It's the 3rd one in that checks. That's so risky, but it works out in the end. KNG trying to do the best that he can, but he is completely surrounded, and Bolt's going to go down to Kenny. Nobody dies on G2, and that patience pays off.
Yes, 2 rounds in a row for G2, so it's going to be back into the save you'd hope from Immortals. Right around $2,000, and yeah, I mean, this is props to Body. The unsung hero when you're the 3rd player and you're checking that, because you know Steel is just drooling as he sees 2 players run by not looking. He's just loving life at that moment.
And I mean, with every new player that runs past, the chances that the next one will check drops dramatically, right? People just say, well, it's fine, you know?
But every team, there's always like one player on every team that is so neurotic about checking those corners that he can be so frustrating, and everyone's got one. Apparently on G2, it's Body.
Credit to him. Who would have known? He was so widely criticized when he was picked up. Seemed like one of those players that just was on nobody's radar, and then you get to join sort of legendary players like this. Everyone just had their eye on him, and everyone was saying this is a mistake, and then he turned it around so damn quick, and I think now he's just looking like an absolute star.
Yeah, he's integral. He's made a fine career out of his short time in G2, and obviously going forward, if for every reason there's ever a roster change, someone's going to happily pick him up. But yeah, I mean, props to him as well. He picked the game up very quick. He did have a little bit of a shaky start, because it was him and I think Devil were the 2 French players that kind of were picked up out of desperation by some of these French teams of just trying to find some new talent in the scene, and Body has worked out phenomenally.
Bolts exposing himself a bit. Body will be able to take him down, no problem. Apex with a good shot through the smoke on Lucas, and as it should be, this is more of a cleanup round here for G2. Making it 4-1, and trying to see if they can get a bit closer to that playoff spot, which we're fighting for here. Loser, I believe, is going to be playing against Fnatic, so...
Did we ever verify that? I think that's true, because I think the loser of the last series plays FaZe?
Yes, that's how it works.
That's how it works. Well, a little bit of restraint on the Immortals side of things, which is cool to see. Not force buying any of the rifles. They go for a little bit of a half buy armor and deagles. CZs as well. Bolts and Henny with nades, both towards bathroom. So this time the stack is over towards the other side of the map, and unfortunately for Immortals, G2 has gone away from it. It's just Steel playing very passively at B. I think this is just going to be a pretty clean, easy win.
Well, riddle me this, Moses. Are we going to see a double AWP setup out of Immortals on this map?
I think so.
All right. I'm glad you said that.
That's a tough question, isn't it?
I know. I'm trying to throw you for a bit of a curve here.
Lucas is a baller with his deagle. This is quite nice. Good shot onto Henny. Going for more as well. He spots one in the open, but can't convert that kill. Yeah, I don't think there's a map we have in the rotation where we wouldn't see a double AWP out of the Immortals nest.
As soon as you see it on Inferno, you pretty much know that they are going to go for it. Well. Lucas trying to see if he can make his escape, and it's going to be successful, it seems. Bolt still close enough that he was hoping that someone would exit that way, but they're not going to do that. So 5-1 in favor of G2, and again, Immortals with a tough economy on the CT side, which is definitely part of the story here at the first part of the first half here. Now, see what they can bring us. They've got almost all the money they could possibly want. There's the double AWP. There's no surprise.
Surprise. A lot of money built up on this G2 side, though. I mean, you've got Body at 10K, you got almost 11K, you've got Apex at 10K, Shocks and NBK at mid to high, 8,500-ish. So there's gonna have to be a lot of rounds that Immortals whittles down this money. Henny's gonna have his op in the bathrooms, peering out towards long. Bolts is here for the cover. He just sprays when he gets blind. That's a great find. A little bit fortunate. Henny, they're gonna swing out of the rock, and that's great, right through the corner. But he's trapped. He can't get out. He's gotta fight his way out, and he does. What a flick, what a reaction. 4-on-2 salvages his life and perhaps even the round.
There are just not many players in the world that will live through that kind of engagement. The stress of you've just seen your teammate fall on the other side. You can't really go long, and then you run into that player in the restrooms and still make it out. Well, Body's finally going to take care of him, puts an end to that, and he's wire tight, and that might have been enough. KNG to shoot him in the back as he's busy worrying about his teammate. 55 seconds here for a 1 versus 2. Kenny, is he going to stick with the AWP? He's got a lot of speed behind him, and Lucas is only now starting to rotate in, so maybe could work out for Kenny if he's quick, but this slow pace here might come back to haunt him.
This is just deja vu for Shocks on the pistol round, right? It's 2 players for Immortals, but they're split. Lucas as well playing in the bank, and as that smoke fades, Kenny's gonna go hunting for it. Lucas knows this is coming. A little bit of dink through the corner of the wall, taps the bomb, but no one's there to peek for it. And now both players are here.
Kenny just gonna accept, or hope that no one is by the restrooms. Just a bit of a gamble. Goes straight for it. AWP flick, not gonna connect, and they both peek him at the same time. So Immortals gonna be able to secure the round this time. Had they not, I mean, that would have been a devastating loss.
Would have been a complete disaster, wouldn't it? Either way, they do get on the board. I think do they have time? I think they're waiting to see where that second op is. They're gonna go try and find it, and they know it's out towards long. So plenty of time. They both have kits, so that's just what's going on here. You can see the replay of how Henny survives. That's so sick.
I can't believe it.
Because if he falls there as well, that's so much map control given up. That's bathrooms that G2 has control of. They've got a lot of space to work with to move up. What are we seeing here, Anders? I was just talking in the last round about how much money G2 has. Immortals wins a round. They have a double op set up, and we're seeing a Mac 10 on Apex. We're seeing a P90 on Kenny. Explain that.
I'd really rather not.
It's a B rush.
Yeah, I mean, could be. KNG gonna be moving in. They're all lined up in front, and Steel is the close one. He goes down after a single kill. KNG gonna get the one, and Lucas there to back it up, and Body will get the headshot. This is just, again, a mad fight in the B-bomb side. Body taking a second kill and getting the drop on Lucas, and now it's a 2-on-2. Henny, close range with the AWP, but both the G2 players going to be falling back, and Henny will surely have heard that. Yeah, he knows.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great call from G2. Just get the bomb. You know it's still early in the round. You have plenty of time to work with. And you also know, because of the emphasis, because the rush is called out, that both Immortals players are going to be there. So you delay the fight, you make them sweat a little bit. Now, you lose information of where they possibly could be, which is a little bit of a bummer, but the same thing happens to Immortals. And this is actually going to be a fake. So G2 is splitting up. It looks like Shox would be the one to lead the action. He'll be the one to make a distraction over towards the B-bomb site. Maybe he wins a duel. He's got no smoke, so he can't really deny information. It's just a flashbang. But he's got to win this fight, because Body's waiting out towards long. And Bolts is still over at A as well.
Shox has walked all the way on the bomb site here. If Body peeks long, Bolts is going to be essentially drawn out right then, but it looks like he's going to be waiting. Still, Shox has made no noise at all.
Time as well, 20 seconds left. This distraction has to come in because Body's got to start moving, and Bolts hasn't budged. There's the flashbang. Bolts still not moving.
Oh my god.
And Body's going to have to start running. And I saw that he was the neurotic one that's clearing corners. Is he going to check this? No, he's not. That's the bomb down, and that's the round. G2, an interesting idea, but it's just the positioning of the Immortals players. Henny was so far away from that B-bomb site that he never spotted Shox, never heard him.
I'm shocked that Bolts didn't move. That's very impressive. Once you hear that flash go off with that little time left, you must be thinking that's it, you know? Very well done. Gonna be Immortals ending up winning the round, and they need that. Again, their economy is really pressured. Even winning these 2 rounds in a row here, they're still nowhere near rich enough to start losing.
Yeah, everyone below $1,000, not comfortable at all. Lucas wants to get aggressive, wants to try and catch him off guard, and he's found a little bit of a gap. That deep flash and deep smoke might signal that something's up. How long does he want to stick around? It seems like he's just trying to bait a peek from that one angle. He doesn't want to actually commit too far up. But we've seen a number of times. There's the up from Henny. Great support onto Lucas that allows him to stay aggressive. And even Bolt's watching for that, but he can't win the fight. NBK's got them surrounded. He can fight more. He can put him out in the open for his teammates as well. Henny's gonna lose that one out into the open, and there goes Lucas. We've seen it a number of times. Cool idea with aggression, but sticking around for too long and getting punished.
As soon as that connector player goes down, the rest are in so much trouble. You could tell they weren't quite sure where to stand. Now K&G and Steel, to find your way back from a 2-on-4 like this, you've got to come up with some kind of clever plan. I'm kind of glad they're pushing up like this. I feel like if they could find a rotating player here, make it a 2-on-3, maybe even drop the bomb somewhere, that would be the big play. And NBK is still lingering around there, still waiting. They've actually managed to make their way in. Oh, K&G comes in with a headshot, taking down Shox, and now NBK comes out. He's going to go down to Steel. It's from a 2-on-4 into a 2-on-2. Kenny over at long with the bomb and Body. They might be able to sandwich Immortals in here. This can go either way.
I don't think Immortals has no idea Kenny's here. They didn't spot him, and this is such a good angle for Body. Misses the shot, but he recovers nicely, and that might win the round. Because Steel's got to commit towards B, and Body being aggressive. Bomb is planted, and Steel thinks it's at this B bomb site. He has no idea.
Well, he's gonna get the headshot on Body, and he realizes he's gonna run back. He must have heard the sound on top. Now, Kenny all the way up by the restrooms, and Steel, if he had a smoke or a defuse kit or anything, it could maybe work out, and he's gonna get close with the AK. He wants to run Kenny down. Now it's close range. AK versus AWP, and Kenny gonna get the flick. Of course he will. G2 saving the round, but I mean, this whole game has been like this.
It's been wild, hasn't it? That's such an awkward situation to be in. Like you said, great call, but this is beautiful from NBK. Not only locking them in, but you can see Henny's forced to make a decision. Does he want to go up the stairs and fight at Fountain, or does he want to go back and try and take on NBK? And he just can't win that fight. And as you mentioned at the start of that round, the economy for Immortals was so busted that as soon as they lose that, they have to... Well, you say they have to save, but they go for the force buy.
We were hoping. I mean, they probably would have had to double eco, I think. So
yeah, it's not the worst idea in this situation, but
no,
it's a tough buy, isn't it?
It's more acceptable, I suppose. But you're right. There are sort of opposing interests because you want the double up, but you also want to force a lot. So it's like, doesn't really work out.
It's a very weird scenario. Now keep in mind, they did win one of these earlier. They won the second round with the Deagles off the back of Lucas's pick.
Yes, it's true. Maybe they could repeat that. 6-3 is currently looking like quite a good scoreline for G2. Mostly, I think, because of the money that's there. Well, KNG, what a great peak. They used this earlier and it didn't work out, but this time, NBK never stood a chance.
Caught with timing with his back turned in that initial peak. And he's just kind of frozen out in the open. And with that kill, G2 is going to give up on the B half of the map, and they're going to rotate all the way over towards bathrooms. They have control, but Bolts is there. Nice kill from Apex, just peeking, finding a timing that Henny's not prepared for. But still not committing. Shocks and Apex with the bomb rotating away from long. Nice pick from Kenny as well. KNG trying to find some information. Steel's got an interesting decision to make. He's all the way in T-spawn, so he's going to go back towards the B-bomb site. I think Bolts hears all that as well. B-bomb site is open for the taking, though.
4 versus 3 like this. Not easy for Immortals to win. 5 seconds left, and the bomb will be going down, as will Lucas and Bolts at the end. Kenny again doing a good job. It was a triple kill for him. He is tied for the top with Apex and Body, all of them at 10 kills. So Shocks at almost at 10 as well. It's not bad. Not bad at all.
He's at 9, but I feel like that pistol round kill should count for like 5.
True.
If we're fair.
Yeah, I need to see I need to see a lot of replays of that. Like just a lot of them.
Reverse, slow motion.
Yeah.
Everything.
It's everything about the decision to come off the bomb plant is just mad. Good flick from Kenny. And Immortals again, just with the pistols here. They were going to double eco anyway, so see what happens here. They are getting pretty much cleaned up, and KNG going to be next in line. Falls to Apex with the Mac 10. 8-3.
Tough part is because of that force buy. I mean, this is what really comes into question. We say you can't really criticize it too much, or like it's a little bit more understandable because you're double saving. If they don't force buy that round, they can have an ult.
Yeah, 2 ults.
They could even have
3
2 if they wanted. They could have 5 handers if we're going to go down that route. But this is, now they're all kind of stuck. I mean, the average, the most that's up there right now is 4,400 on KNG. So, Henny's only got 4,300, so you can't have any ops.
I would love to see a team go 5 ops on CT side Overpass just once. Just 1 round.
Oh, isn't it the other Brazilian team, isn't it SK, who did like the 5 ops on Train at one point? They brought that out in a couple matches.
It's true.
All online games, I think, so.
All online games, of course. A bit of a timeout. It has already expired here. It's not the worst buy in the world. M4s and smokes, but they need to turn this around, Immortals.
And I think we're seeing G2 get a little bit aggressive, knowing if there's a buy this round, there's not a whole lot of utility, not a whole lot of Molotovs. That jump might have spotted him out, might have given him the information. 3 players here. A big battle is brewing.
KNG right at the corner. That smoke not quite going to cover everything. I think there's a gap in it. KNG going to get 1 kill, but they lost Steel and Lucas, and KNG fighting to keep the bomb site. And Body is just so quick on it. He's got the double already, and now Bolts and Henny. What could they do at this point?
Not a whole lot. Like we said, I mean, not only are you missing utility, you're missing kits. And I think that's the big thing. I mean, G2 just kind of walks in. There's no preemptive smoke. There's no like preemptive Molotov. Not a whole lot of flashbangs to use. So you have to make sure that when you do throw it, it's effective. So you're waiting for some kind of information that the hit is coming, and G2 is able to just walk in and get everything. A couple of guns going to be taken out of the hands, maybe at the end of this round. But the economy is so strong on the G2 side of things that it doesn't really matter. And Shocks, this hunt, this could be critical. Take the M4s away. Oh, what a shot. Great reaction, because Henny spotted him out, wanted to go for the follow-up peek. I think Bolts will end up getting away. Yes,
he will. Surviving the bomb blast. There was an AK there that he could have stolen. Not interested, I suppose. Another round here where Immortals just don't have the economy. And again, if you... I mean, this is the 13th round, but what do you do now? I mean, force... Why do I ask that?
It's like the realization just hit you right at the end.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say you could buy orbs in the next round and try and make it 10-5. Good gun for that kind of a scoreline.
The tough part is there's always that point during a half where if it's really running away from you, especially on the CT side, like and even on the T side to a certain degree, but mostly on the CT side, where you just need the rounds. Like you just need the rounds more than you can really afford to save, so you have to go for it, and that's why it is so questionable at times. That was an opportunity down to about half HP. Gets 2 players down pretty low. But close doesn't count.
The stairs ate almost all of those pellets, and still he nearly got the kill. That could have definitely been a bit of an unpredictable weapon at times, that Max 7. There seems to be times where you can just do enormous damage at like even sort of like a bit above mid-range, and then sometimes just don't do anything. MBK goes down though, so Henny still with the assist, and KNG in charge of that one. Bolts, flashbang, not going to do anything to him. He actually peeked into Shock, so not bad at all, but going to get caught by Kenny.
Lucas and KNG in the rotation. Steel going for a flank. I think Body, yeah, definitely spotted him now. Great trigger discipline, but Apex knows everything. Won't even matter as Body finds him in the end. And the tough part about that is, yes, that's a flank that can do massive damage, but because he gets picked off, it opens up the other entire half of the map. You can see KNG and Lucas could just play together at A while Steel was doing that flank. Now that he's gone, they've got to split up.
KNG's moving in. He's maybe the only one who could buy time. There's only 14 seconds. He actually has a Molotov. He's just managed to put it out down onto the bomb site. They have a smoke to extinguish it if they need. 6 seconds. Can he get the cross? Oh, if he gets tagged, then the round is done. KNG would have won it if he could have landed that bullet. Well then.
Why does the round have to come down to that? Running through a Molotov just to get the plant down in time.
My God. He could have got the kill and walked in behind the wall and just grinned, and it would have been
so scary, isn't it?
And now Lucas, it's no wonder he's not going to try and go for this. So 10-3, and Immortals. It's just the economy. Like, it is really frustrating. But on the other hand, if some of these, I mean, if some of these buys work out, where they have the CZs and the Max 7s and stuff, I mean, they probably end up looking great, right, in the first half, if they win just a couple of them.
Yeah, but that's
I know.
That's a wild if.
Listen, I'm trying, Moses. I'm really trying. I'm desperate.
I mean, well, here's the thing. Like, the other argument is, let's say there's 2 of those 4 spies that they just don't do, and they just save, and then they get ops more. Do they win more doing that, or is it a higher percentage that you're going to win those save rounds? That's always kind of the question, right?
Yeah.
I'd side with the AWPs, but they've got one this round. It's KNG. He's got no armor. It's a full glass cannon. No armor, no nades, nothing but the op. And I believe they have him boosted over towards the B bomb site, so he's peering towards short sewers. Nobody's there whatsoever. G2 just calling a complete blind anti-strat. 4 players towards long. Shox is kind of lurking. They take a lot of control. KNG's rotating back now.
Oh no. He's going to walk into an army, and they actually tag him mid-air. And there's the lineup of players. The timing so good. Bolts with a great spray, taking 2. And maybe could have even been another one there. His body's very low. Shox can hit a headshot on Henny. Still a 2-1-3, but Immortals, they've got this one chance to get another round on the board, and Body's still doing damage. So a double kill for him. And Steel in a 1 versus 3. This has been just a great half for Body. He's got 15 kills, only outdone by Kenny at 16. And Steel, impossible nearly to get this. No no head armor, no kit, no grenades. He gets Kenny at least. And realizes there might be one there, but time is simply out. And 14 rounds in, he's just going to try and save the AWP for the last round of the half here. I can't believe it.
Ooh, wait, Shox is on the chase. This is good stuff. He's not giving up anything, is he?
Really wants it. Shox coming in. That was a bit too much. Steel going to get the triple and save the AWP for the last round of the half.
Yes, they had it in the previous, obviously, and I don't think KNG got a shot off with it, unfortunately. I think Kenny hit him, actually tagged him twice. Once on the jump, once on the follow-up. But still, they'll be able to bring it in this next round, and thankfully now he's got nades, he's got armor, he's got anything you can need, he's got a kit as well. But 3-11. This is a little bit, well, a lot of a disaster for Immortals in this half.
KNG, very aggressive over on this side. They've won some of these fights early on, but it seems like G2 are very good at sort of absorbing that early aggression and then putting the pressure on from Connector if they win the fight.
And G2 has 3 AWPs. We missed that in the excitement of KNG having his. They have 3 ops, and they've pretty much just stopped and sat back waiting for some kind of aggression. They just want one of these ops to pick a player off. And KNG, he's trapped, isn't he? That smoke's going to help him out if he wants to get away, but he's going slow, and Kenny almost finds him through the smoke.
That's a bit too close.
There's Shocks. He's gone back to T-spawn. He's given it up. All the meanwhile, this boost from Steel could be great, and it is.
Yeah. It's become very popular as of late, and also it's often peaked for that same reason, so you got to be a bit careful. MBK goes down. Steel doing the work once again. 5 versus 3. They've laid the entire groundwork in. All they have to do is play safe and reasonable, and they should be able to get the 4th round on the board, which they desperately need here. G2 are well on their way to making the playoffs.
Yeah, off the back of a run of 6 rounds straight, and Steel is doing his best to give Immortals as much breathing room as possible into the next half. It's not going to be much. It's looking like they will be able to get their 4th, and as I say, that Apex gets 2. But Steel's going for the ace here in this last round. Apex is going to come around towards Monster, and he's going to have his chance.
18 seconds. Steel gonna close it off with an ace. Very well done. Topping the scoreboard at 14. He would have been tied, I think, with bolts otherwise. But that is it for the first half. 11-4 in favor of G2. It really feels like it's not going to be a close game this time. But you never know. If they can win the pistol on Immortals' side, who knows?
Yeah, I mean... We saw get away from G2 on Inferno just a little bit was when they did their own force buying, that streak that they had. So this is one of those times I think where you just take a deep breath if you're G2 and you just play everything kind of by the book, don't you? I think so, at least in my opinion.
By everything by the numbers. I heard that's making a return.
Yeah, I've heard it is as well. I think they tweeted out they reached their goal.
Yes, they did.
Congratulations to Thorn and Richard, and
good job everyone supporting.
Congratulations to all of us for getting to hear the madness again.
Yeah, I was missing that in my life actually.
Yeah, listen, we get to hear him a lot in the green rooms.
Well,
I feel like every day of my life is an episode of By the Numbers. Think about it.
It's true, like an R-rated version of By the Numbers. 11-4, and moving into the 16th round. If you're just joining us, then you should go back and watch the beginning of this best of 3, because this whole thing has been a marathon of madness. See if the pistol round is going to have some sort of return to normality, although there's a lot of utility here on the G2 side. Grenade into Underpass and, well, into the connector, and that's a lot of damage onto KNG and Henny.
That's a phenomenal nade from Apex. Look, okay, Shocks is crazy, and it might pay off for him. There's coming around the corner, it's Bolts, but he can't win the fight. That's 2 kills for him, and then it all just snowballs. Very, very quickly, Immortals have already found 3 kills in this, pressuring this A bomb site. The rotation is on, but it's an immediate kill with that CZ at range. And even for someone like Body, who we've talked up so much in this game, this is just too much.
Yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised that Immortals don't continue to fight Body there, even if they would fight him, it's still a 1 in 100 chance that he makes it, but why give him the chance, you know? Just go get the bomb down and then finish the round off. There's Bolts with a triple, and Immortals winning the pistol. Great job.
Yeah, really nicely done from Bolts, taking up that pressure. There was a second player that, we were spectating Shocks, but there was a second player that was pushing up aggressive towards Fountain, I think. Bolts killed him first and then transferred over to Shocks.
You know, I remember Device used to say that he got really triggered. Oh, not bad. I remember Device used to say he got really triggered playing against Bolts because he apparently looks like Device's little brother. So he felt like he was getting beat by his little brother. that got under his skin apparently. It's quite interesting. Little piece of irrelevant fact there.
Yeah, right.
Completely irrelevant.
Of all the things that get under your skin as well is playing someone who vaguely looks like your little brother.
Maybe. I mean, it's a while ago that they were saying that, so maybe he's moved past it.
It was before the sports psychologist.
Yeah, exactly. They had a whole session going on. Device crying on the couch. So.
It always comes back to the family, doesn't it?
Oh yes. Stack on the A-bomb side. KNG enjoying. I always thought, Moses, if I was gonna bomb this A-bomb side, why not strap the bomb to one of these balloons and have it float over, just armored and out there, and the wind is going your way, you just like let it slide. They can't defuse it, it's in the air, right?
Such a mad idea. What if it just goes too high?
Then you shoot it as it's above.
All right.
It just drops down.
Got me there.
Yeah, see, there we go.
This is great for G2 at least. This is where the stack is. That smoke is wonderful timing as well. They've got to go through that. This is perfect, although Steel, he's going to get a couple of entries for his team, and that might have just saved the round, but all the fights are going in the way of G2. Body with a double of his own with the CZ, down into a 2-on-2, and this flank could be dangerous. KNG's ready for it, and he sustains, they're down into a 1-on-1. NBK with the deagle, he's got to land one shot. It's got to be a headshot. He doesn't have the HP for this fight. and KNG saves Immortals.
It's so mad. That smoke that goes down on long, if you stripped all the names, I still probably would have guessed that it would have been a team like Immortals that just continues to run through 3 players. Because so many other teams, when the smoke goes down, it would have been like split.
Like one player goes through and everyone else like, screw that.
The others are like, nah, we're not going to try and do this, right? Immortals just say, no, listen, we're just all going to come right through. And
it's one of the strengths of this team. It's one of the benefits. And unfortunately, this push is being heard all the while. Steel, he's in for a fun time, but he only gets one. KNG's there to mop him up. They do get traded out.
That worked much better than it should have. Much better than it should have. No, but I actually agree. I realized halfway through oh, wow. Kenny doing more.
This is getting expensive now, isn't it?
Just a bit too much, yes. They still have the bomb. I was going to say, I realized halfway through that sentence that it sounded like sort of a piece of criticism, but I actually do think it's a strength because the hesitation in some of those engagements is actually what really damages a lot of other teams. Like, it goes horribly wrong. So I kind of like the committal from Immortals, even though it got closed that time.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you can see it in maps like really play out, even when it's not like an example of having to run through a smoke, but just the way they take bomb sites. It's like no one slows down except for the guy with the op, and even then, sometimes he's getting just as wild. This is going to be good, though, for G2. They did invest a little bit into that second round, so the fact that Kenny can bring an AK into the next one, that's going to allow just an extra set of utility for these guys, an extra kit. So good find, and I mean, that's two eco rounds there, or maybe a force buy and an eco round that G2 has that gets 3 kills. So pretty expensive for the Immortals, all things considered.
Yes, just a weird push with USPs running all the way in, and as you said, they got heard. And this still didn't work out. 7-11. Immortals now suddenly closer than you know, it felt like just just a short while ago. It looked like G2 already closed this game out, but now it's only a 4-round gap, and again...
This is like a 1 economic reset territory, and all of a sudden this is pretty much an even game.
Yeah. Well, Kenny says no, and he has been on top of everything this game. Picks up the kill on KNG and immediately falls back. Bolt's looking to bring it back with a great headshot on Apex, but what a return from NBK, who's had a bit of a tough game early on, but now it seems like he's coming alive here on Overpass. Gets a shot on Steel as well through the edge of the wall. And Lucas and Henny left.
Yeah, Immortals hanging their hats this round on some of those duels towards the B-bomb, so they don't work out. So it's a 2-on-4. Henny and Lucas still have plenty of utility left. Shox is out in the open, though. A good fight to win at range, and there it is. Kenny with the op. He started the round, and he ends it as well. A 12th for G2. Immortals get nowhere near any of the bomb sites. And now it turns into a dire situation. I think this is, I mean, Immortals is feeling it as well, because you're obviously seeing another, well, you will as soon as we get back into the game on the screen, and it's another buy everything you possibly can. CZ on Steel, the 2 AKs, 2 Deagles, and I think at this point, this is where we have to like kind of stop being critical, because they're just saying we need to win a round, we need to get on the board, we need something promising to be coming our way.
Yeah, the pattern is not really working out in their favor. If they just sort of keep trading back and forth a bit with the rounds, if they have to save a lot and then, you know, buy and win a round and lose the next one, it's still not going to be good. So sort of just trying to see if they can flip the switch here and make it work. And they've got 4 smokes, so they can maybe get close to G2 here.
What a defense in the A bomb site as well. You got Body, Shox, and Kenny. We're all just staggered into that A bomb site. Shox taking point, and Kenny just pivoting between long and bathrooms.
Kenny's actually expecting a sort of a jump coming out of there. You would have been ready for it. Grenades are in. So Kenny no vision on long any longer. 50 seconds on the clock here. Trying to get close. Shox now very much out in the open. This is dangerous. He's going to go down. Henny shooting him through the wall with the Deagle. That's a bit aggressive, and they're going to get the kill on Kenny too. Your Body trying to fall back and buy some time for the rest of the team to show up, but Immortals are actually making this work. Henny goes down. Lucas is down as well. Apex, a bit of a hero in this round. He's going to get a headshot on Steel, and that leaves Bolts in a 1-on-3. Apex coming out of nowhere from the connector and getting 3 kills.
It looked like Immortals was on the verge of just swarming that bomb site, but something never came through. They didn't seem too aggressively attacking that site, even when they got the 2 kills. Even when they took down Shocks, even when they took down Kenny, it didn't feel like there was any too much of a progression. Maybe, I mean, now that I'm looking at here, maybe it's just because we didn't see Apex's point of view, obviously taking on 2 people in the bomb site. A great and timely flank from him. No one really from Immortals kind of aware that it's coming in that quickly still as the hit is going on. Immortals going to be around. They don't buy much of anything, maybe some P250s, but one last solid buy for them, and Kenny picks Lucas right out of the air. You said he's been on point this whole time, and you can see it here. Getting dinked, though, he's going to fall away. No danger in this round, though.
KNG and Bolts, the last 2 ones left, and even after this round, their economy won't be very exciting, although they are going to be able to put together a buy, I believe. KNG trying to see if he could get something together with the MP7 that he's picked up from Shocks. Right now, G2 well on their way to that playoff spot, which you've got to think, this lineup has got to show us something great. I mean, they're certainly looking sort of fairly well oiled. There are some wrinkles here and there, but
yeah.
But they're a team that should be making it pretty deep into tournaments.
Yeah, they are, and I mean they have done it. It just hasn't been a consistent thing. But I do like what I've seen today. We've pointed out a couple times some of the theoretical foundation to some of like the rotations they're making on the CT side seems pretty solid. Some pretty cool things that we see out of them that we haven't in the past. So looks pretty good. But like I said at the beginning, I've just been, my heart's been broken too much, Andrew.
Yes, you did mention that. Kenny with the forward addition of Shocks pushing all the way at the edge of the smoke. That's incredibly aggressive, and actually going to allow Kenny just to fall all the way back here. So Shocks is giving his team a lot of space to work with, even just being here.
Shocks is unleashed this round. They're just saying, you play it to what you feel. And if he finds the right timing, this is going to be a sick flank. Henny, Lucas, KNG all pushing up bathrooms towards the A bomb site. G2 has complete control of long.
MBK starting off the bidding. That's down by the monster tunnel. Getting that kill now. The grenades are going to start to rain in. It is all or nothing here for Immortals, and KNG going to get a headshot on one. It's at least to start taking down Body. Kenny sneaking back in. He's the top fragger in the server right now. The bomb is going down in front, and he misses the shot. KND to drop him, and Shocks is a little bit late with this flank here. Henny is going to be in position when he drops down. He should hear it, and Henny, oh, I don't think he read that quite right. Now it's a 3-on-3. And Shocks and Apex both coming with the flank. MBK on the other side. They've got a bit of a sandwich effect going on here against Immortals, who must win this round if they want to stay in this best of 3. MBK pushing in, and he's going to get dropped by Lucas, who's now stuck in the corner for the moment. Shocks wants to find him. KNG getting the triple, taking down Apex. And Shocks, he is simply out of time and space, and he gets taken out by Lucas. And Immortals clear out the round. It's a good job on them.
Yeah, weird round. That was the time I think G2. Kenny was actually pushing up long, I think, to go support Shocks and make sure he couldn't get wrapped upon from bathrooms, but that brought him so far out of the action. When the smokes and the execute eventually did come in, he's at such a disadvantage there. Pretty tough to manage, and then right at the end, what really sealed it is KNG. The flankers become the flanked. And that's an 8th round. Still a long way to go for Immortals. Kenny's already bought an AWP. Yeah, G2's got plenty of money. I was going to say, Kenny's the only one with a gun. He bought AWP with all the nades. No one else has anything just yet, but they're going to be fine with the big buy here.
At this point, you've got to notice that, I mean, Lucas and Henny, they're both of them 9-6 kills. They're not having a great time on this map right now.
Yeah, Twins not having a great game, are they?
That's a problem, because everybody else right now on the server is really waking up, so the comeback is quite a long way away, but if it's going to happen, they need all 5 of their players, that's for sure. Very aggressive here. Bolts getting a bit of fire damage, but manages to push his way through. At least they got control of this part of the map, but look at Shoxy again.
This time he's being far more aggressive with it. That was one of the things that you pointed out, that he never quite pounced on that flank. This is an interesting duel. Apex and Bolts bringing each other very, very low. Bolts down to 1 HP. It's Steel's turn to lead the way.
Lucas is waiting for him. Oh, how can this be real? If he sees it, and he does, man, Shocks is gonna feel so outplayed, but Body taking down Well, bolts all the way through. This is ridiculous.
Giving up all map control, but keeping his eye on the flank, that's great awareness. I mean, to stay focused on that as well.
Yeah.
I think if you're Shox, though, you're wondering how he read that. And KNG, the timing's not with him. Great peek from NBK, though. He's getting traded. This is very, very good for Immortals. Whittling down this defense, forcing them to commit somewhere. Utilities running low. Body and Kenny S here to hold the fort of this B bomb site. And Body's just going to get aggressive. He gets into the spray, but it's not landing. Lucas wins it. And that might open things up.
Apex going to go down. Twins are back in action. Kenny, 1 versus 3 on this side. If they give him the opportunity, and, well, he's going to take down Lucas for 1. Bit of a flick. Almost connects with Henny.
It almost got there, didn't it?
It is very close, but not close enough. 9-14, Immortals. Finally, something's working. This second half has been a bit rough with G2 winning 3 in a row. I don't know. The problem is, even if there's a pretty big gap of 5 rounds,
yeah,
it's obviously not going to be 5 buy rounds for G2, and one of them is the eco round here. So I don't know. The gap can close pretty quick right now, I think.
It can, and I think it's the next gun round that's going to be deciding. Because I mean, if everything goes according to plan or how you think it would go, Immortals takes this one. They're at 10. The 11th round is a buy, and then if Immortals win that buy round, then there's going to be another save. So then that would get a little, that's where they can really close the gap. So still chances here for Immortals. And they're playing this one passively. They've really, really slowed things down. They've really toned down the aggression as well. No early battles that we saw kind of earlier on in this half.
And it looks like they want to go for a bit of a setup. Because you see Shoxy all the way behind with the flashbang. So I'm guessing if there was any kind of engagement at long, it'd be a flashbang over and then 3 people peeking at once. I like that. Doesn't look like we're going to get to see it, but...
No, it doesn't. That's unfortunate, isn't it? Apex, though, he's going to be the man who's got to find some information for his team, and they just now use that flashbang just to clear out long, and pretty timely as well, because they're rotating over. They could get here to maybe try and pick off 1, but it's not looking too likely.
I think Apex might have heard KNG in there. Kenny going to be the one to pick up 1 kill, and that's the end of it. So 10-14, and G2, they have the money to buy in this round, and they obviously should. Immortals are making a pretty convincing case for this being a tight game after all. Remember, 11-4 in the first half favoring G2, and now we're at 10-14.
Yes, and it was, I mean, it was a brutal first half too. If you were an Immortals fan, to have to watch that, it must have been frustrating. There wasn't a whole lot to talk about. This time, though, this half, they've seemed to have stabilized things towards the end of it. G2 having a tough time closing out. They've got a great buy this run, though, up on Kenny. He's got no armor, but outside of that, everyone's sitting pretty nice. They're just lacking in kits. Body's got the only one of those, so interesting. Probably need to keep note of where exactly he is on the map. He's currently boosting Apex at the B bomb site. And this time, these last few rounds, G2's really loved this long aggression. Shox has been pushed up here probably 3 of the past 4 or 5 rounds that we've seen. This time Kenny's over here with him.
And surely that will have also made Immortals a bit paranoid. I mean, you saw Lucas reading it last time when Shox was pushed up, so I feel like the Brazilian side are going to have at least some sort of read on what's happening here. 25th round. Very near the end. The map is, or the maps are currently tied 1-1, so this decides everything. It looks like Apex almost wants to go and peek into that monster tunnel, or at least maybe even fight it.
We've seen these guys work together very well. It was on Inferno, where they were the ones being aggressive as CT on Banana. So just so they could have the information at the very least. They would pop flash and peek Banana early on. And this smoke, this has got to be a designed smoke, perhaps. Oh, he spots the leg there. Oh, this is so dicey, but he's going to win the 2 battles. How critical is that from Apex? And even NBK joining in.
They didn't think he was going to be that bold, pushing through like that. And Henny, he gets the kill on 1. Lucas with a return, trying to keep it alive, but at 15 seconds, it looks like Apex may just have done enough here. And Kenny taking down Henny. It's all on Lucas, and he's going to get dropped by Body. That's... I don't think they've seen that smoke that far out before, so they just thought...
I think they were wondering what it meant. Maybe they're thinking, okay, they messed up their smoke.
Yeah. I can sort of walk through it and peek it.
Yep.
That's crazy. He sees the legs perfectly as they come through.
I thought maybe that was like a smoke that might have a little bit of a gap in the left side that he can get close to and peer on, which is pretty risky in its own right. But regardless of what it was planned for, quite nice of Immortals just to walk right through it. Apex is going to be happy with that, and that was kind of the end of the round. They had kind of had to go through that though. I don't blame them for it. The clock was running low. It was about 20 seconds, I think, when those fights were taken.
Yeah. A map point here. Apex, bit of a boost, almost takes down Steel. That could have easily been a kill. And Immortals got one last chance here to make it work. If they do and break the G2 economy, there is always a way back, but the French have certainly held their own here on this map, and what a great pop flash in. Lucas never stood a chance. Could have maybe even been a double, but Shox doesn't want to be too greedy. He's going to be content with just the one Molotov. Not going to do quite enough. That's a smoke, and Shox reads it. He knows that there's maybe a player pushing through, and a great headshot. Kenny taking out Bolts as well, and now it's Steel and Henny fighting 2 versus 4, make that 1 versus 4, and Shox to close it out with a fantastic triple, and that will be 16-10, favoring G2 as they push into the playoffs here. That's just very well done. Shoxy playing well at the end as well, I'm happy to say. But it was Kenny overall topping the scoreboard at 26 kills.
Everyone had a great map. You even think back to the first map, you think back to Mirage. Apex had a great game. And I mean, Kenny really started taking over. I thought Apex and NBK worked together very well. So solid performance all the way through for G2. And you're right, that's going to earn them the spot in the playoffs. And I think you said it was Fnatic that Immortals will have to face tomorrow.
Yes, it will be.
They are still like a dangerous team, even despite some of the mistakes they make. But if they want to like build on that final of the major, they need to clean some of those up. Because even then, we weren't seeing some of these. The force buying is getting a little bit out of hand, I think, at times.
Yeah, it was. I mean, that game could be similarly paced as this one. I think Fnatic are probably going to want to pick that pace off and say, okay, if we're going to roll, then let's just go for it.
Yeah.
Really quite an exciting game. It ended up going a bit late in the day, I suppose. Tomorrow we've got another, four best of threes, yeah. So there's going to be a lot of Counter-Strike coming up for you guys. Really just all-around excitement, and it's good to see G2 doing something right here.
That's the team that you want to be seeing in the playoffs. You want to be seeing these guys fight for a semifinal, maybe even the trophy at the end of it.
Yeah.
Especially these are going to be some fan favorites as well, just considering the names are so storied within CSGO history at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. It seemed like there's a good spread as well. Apex having some really good games, and then Kenny towards the end here, so sort of everyone getting a chance to dive in and doing something on G2's side. Yeah,
I mentioned it during the game, during the broadcast, that I really like some of this theory that they seem to be operating on with some like on Mirage especially. I liked their rotations and how they kind of swap between defending the A-bomb site and playing a retake on the A-bomb site, and you know, how the defensive setups change and adapt based on where someone's rotating to. I thought that was very cool.
Yeah.
Some of the mid-round and timed aggression from them on CT sides as well.
Maybe we can get, MBK to elaborate a little bit on that, because he's with Sue right now. So, Smix, tell us what's up.
Well, MBK will do the talking in just a bit. Congratulations, MBK. You guys are moving on to the round of 8, taking down the major grand finalists in Immortals, advancing first place in Group D. Now, this must feel like at least a bit of redemption after the disappointing group stage exit in the major.
Yeah, I mean, Malmö is especially the first big tournament for the upcoming second part of the season. So it is very important to have a good showing here and to just stack up some confidence for everything that is going to come by the end of the year. So yeah, I mean, winning in that fashion, because it was a tight game, we managed to like stay together, keep focused as a team, and yeah, I mean, feels definitely good to pass groups and be there.
Well, the first map was on Mirage, which is a map you guys never play usually. So was practicing that a focal point prior to coming up to this event?
We just decided to start playing it because we didn't feel very confident on train. We never had very good results, especially on LAN. So we just went on Mirage, that is more open map where you can use our players individually a bit more and just play with clutches and then go X against X and then just, you know, go and win those. We didn't practice it that much, but we feel pretty confident on the map. I mean, the core from Envy, we have quite a lot of experience on it, and so we know how to play it. Apex is leading on the map because Shox doesn't have too many clues what he's doing there. So yeah, we're just doing that, and I mean, it's a good change of pace even for us to have something new to learn and not just work on the same base and on the same maps over and over again. So yeah, I mean, it worked pretty good today, but yeah, it was one-off. Like, we don't know what's going to happen with it, and we're most likely going to keep on playing it because other teams have a lot of experience on it. But yeah, I mean, hopefully we're going to keep on playing it.
And let's talk about G2 overall. You guys had a high in May, June when you won at, I believe, Tours, and then right after that, ESL Pro League finals, and then there was a little bit of a slump after that. So how is the team feeling overall? What was that slump about? What are the things that you're working on?
On a pure Counter-Strike way, we're working on the basics to play very packed together, wait for each other, play with much more team play and work off of that. We're really trying to play only with this so we can master it, and then we're going to be able to go farther, like one step farther, using more tactics, etc. On a team perspective, it's just trying to get every player on the same page again, and it has always been the same thing in French teams, and we're trying not to do that again. So we're trying to talk much more within the team, within the players, with each other, with staff, with Smith as a coach, Jerome Niak as a manager, and just basically like, try to find the issues we have, regardless what they are, if it is in-game or out of the game, and come out better out of it, and not just stay focused on those, and then they're going to become major problems that we cannot fix anymore. So trying to diffuse those problems before they actually happen.
All right, well, thank you very much, MBK. Looking forward to your performance on Saturday. And with that, G2 will be running out our first 4 teams as we head into the Malmö Arena on Saturday.
Thank you, Sue. Yes, indeed. Astralis, North, Ninjas in Pajamas, and G2 are going to be the first 4 teams that have got themselves all locked in. It has been a long one. We heard it from the casters, you'll hear it from us, but we have, of course, had quite the adventure of Counter-Strike this game, no exception. A full 3, Chad. I know that your eyes widened as we saw that third come on through.
Didn't adjust.
What was your prediction again? What did you go for?
I went for G2 2-0. They disappointed me on Infern's Wrath. They
how many?
Inferno.
Get it done.
Was it that much of a disappointment? I mean, there was still some
because
quality Counter-Strike.
On Inferno, I think they had the opportunity to control the economy earlier on that T side. They won the pistol and then they got ecoed, or Force Sport, and then they got Force Sport again further down the track. It looked like their game plan was to continue the Force Spies to make sure that the AWPs of Immortals couldn't get going, and they were managed to do that on the first map and on the third. It just wasn't to be on Inferno, and they struggled a little bit there. But you know, they say a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush, so.
As we all know.
Get the victory.
Yeah,
as we all know.
They got there in the end.
Yeah.
Quite the grind all around. What was your kind of what do you make of a full 3-game series and seeing Immortals fall in the end of that one, Jacob?
I seem like I was more focused on G2, to be honest, like looking at this super team. Immortals played well, like they did against Fnatic yesterday, but it was not like a major showing Immortals, I'd say. Like it was not like something spectacular. It was more like G2 playing okay. I'm still
elaborate. G2.
It's just like I'm still not convinced in G2 as of yet. You know, they have all these sick players. You know, Epics of this game was playing very well. Same for Kenny S, and they win those duels. You know, and when they win the duels, they win the games. But you cannot consistently keep doing that. And I'm still not sold on the way that G2 plays right now. You know, when you go up against a team like SK or Astralis, you lose some of those duels. And what do we fall back on? I'm still not sold on the whole G2 game.
I think even so, if you go back to the first map, I think if you play the same way versus Immortals tomorrow, you might lose that map. Simply because you saw like multiple times on that T side, G2 find a lot of success by going with contact plays, especially Apex had a very, very good first map. But you don't necessarily win that, especially when if Immortals actually grab themselves by the neck and end up in a position where they haven't forced spot so much, so they actually do get double ops up, and you have Henny and KNG tearing down the map, or you go up against Steel or Bolts with a Colt instead of a UMP. It all of a sudden becomes a very different battle. And I think G2 got away with a lot on Mirage in the end, but credit where credit is due. They did play very well.
It is Mirage as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like for a map that they never have played. They haven't played it in 2017. Obviously, it is impressive to beat Immortals, but I do think Immortals didn't really bring their A game, which is kind of disappointing. But it was nice to see them bounce back coming into map 2, because that could have also gone again, quite wrong. We saw it again. They have these slight tendencies of playing too aggressive at times, being a bit over eager, and that does bite them. And again, we saw that a couple of examples of that in Banana with this Wolfpack we talked about from G2. But in the end, it managed to pan out. But overall, I think it's fair to say that G2 were the better team.
Yeah, and I just want to kind of hang on the Mirage point just for a moment longer, because that is kind of crazy. That's something to be remembered. I mean, not only have they done it, North did it, and there's other notable cases that after this break, after you take, 36 days you said, of just no Counter-Strike, you can do what you want, take a holiday, or you can practice. There's nothing to stop you practicing, and some teams have come out of the gates, first offline event of a new season, and we're seeing a Shox team play Mirage, first of all. We're seeing North beat SK on Train. Things are going to get shaken up just a little bit, I think, and this might just be the start of it. But in terms of that Mirage, Jacob, was there anything that, you could see there was a development there?
I mean, they definitely did practice it.
You could tell, yeah.
Definitely. Like, they had some basics going on for them. But, like, the style of the way they play Mirage is similar to the way they play Inferno and Overpass. It's this, like, peak heavy style, you know. If they get the peaks and if they get this wolf pack coming in, then they win, you know. But if the team is able to stop that, there's not much to fall back on.
Yeah.
And let's not forget that it's a different situation for this G2 team. That, for an example, like VP, who tried to pick up Dust 2, they've been together for so long, and then all of a sudden tried to pick up a new map. That's way harder than G2 picking up Mirage, you know, which, like, they've only been a team for, what is it, 2 or 3 months by now, you know. So it's still, like, a bit more new and fresh for them. So they're still, like, more clear-minded in that sense. So I think it's easier for them to pick up a new map.
All right, closing thoughts then. Chad, I know you had something to say about that one, just G2's Mirage.
I was just going to say there was times where they tried to be a little bit tricky. It wasn't just going for jewels and it looked disjointed.
Okay.
Where the Wolfpack stopped to eat midway through on one part of the map.
There's obviously stuff for them to work on, but props to them for the win. You know, those individuals shine through for the squad. Immortals, on the other hand, this is the thing. You know, this is, can they repeat that major performance? And the fact that they rely a lot on individuals as well and people stepping up and having those AWPs especially means that they might not always be as effective as they could be.
Yeah, and I will say that, you know, speaking on the topic of individuals, it's not the guy who you would have expected who kind of stepped through or came through for Immortals. It was Steel, who pretty much was the best performer over the course of the season. And KNG, who I highlighted as, you know, potentially the G2 killer, had probably the worst series I've seen him have in an offline tournament since he joined Immortals.
Well, he's got another chance to redeem himself. They're not gone. The Centurions fall to the lower bracket, and they will be battling, if I'm not mistaken, versus Fnatic.
That's the one.
Yeah, so we get Fnatic versus Immortals. Actually, that's one to look
Juicy
forward
one
to as well. That is juicy. They're all juicy, really, here at DreamHack Masters. But still, a shout out to the Apex Predator of that best of 3. And believe it or not, it was the Frenchman himself, Mr. Apex. Keep the capital E. He came in and as our strafe player of the match. That is indeed his statistics. And you can see just holding a very comfortable ADR, closing in on 100 towards that Inferno game. And all round just cracking in that tin opener style of Counter-Strike, cracking into that defense.
It was definitely between him and Kenny, right, on the scoreboard anyway, but I think that Apex had a lot more impact frags or a lot more impact rounds, and even on Inferno, they didn't pick that map up, but he had that sick pistol round. He also had that, there was a good deagle round as well, I believe he had, so a lot of impact with the kills he was having to get the boys across the line in the end.
He was also very effective in the retakes, G2 made. They played a lot of retakes, both from Mirage and Overpass for that matter, and he was like the key man coming in those retakes. So he played a great game overall, and it's good to see for G2, because without Epics, there's no way they're going to win this tournament, you know. So it's good for him that he's showing up.
And I'm seeing these frags, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that one. It was a while ago.
Right?
That deagle frag on Inferno.
It's like you're wondering if you're watching the wrong highlights. It's like Apex with an AWP highlight?
Yeah,
what? But yeah, no, he definitely had a very good series.
He certainly did. And these are your scoreboards, your scores on the doors. As we do see G2 have a day off, they will be in the beautiful Malmö arena. And as I have said before, I will reiterate, guys, if you want to actually see Apex on that stage, if you want to see the Ninjas, Astralis, North, or if you're a, you know, who else, maybe a Fnatic could take it if you want to go see them and wear your Fnatic jersey, you can. And they have opened up a new part of the arena just so even more butts can be on seats. You can see all the details beneath us, but it would be awesome to see you guys here, just because also it's a real experience, truly is. First esports event where I had that crowd feeling was that ESL1 Cologne or even Katowice. If you haven't done it before, do give it a whack. From all of us here though, guys, it has been a long day. Apex, your MVP of this one. We will see more from both Immortals and the Samurai as they head into Saturday. We are going to go ahead and take a little bit of a break. It's going to be about 7 hours, 8 hours before we are straight back here. So we'll go ahead and get some shut-eye and we'll be back with you tomorrow. Nice, bright and early. As the sun does rise, so will we, and we'll see whose Counter-Strike will rise to the top. Join us tomorrow for more DreamHack Masters Malmö 2017.